Hi, this is Bill, and you're on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. Today we take you on a tour of Royal Caribbean's Jewel of the Seas. By the end of the video, we will show you all parts of the ship, we'll take you floor by floor, and we'll let you know whether the Royal Caribbean Jewel of the Seas is the right ship for you. Thank you again, everybody, for watching and for your support of the channel. Let's start with some quick facts about the Jewel of the Seas. This is a very different cruise ship than most Royal Caribbean, and we're going to highlight a lot of the differences throughout the video. The Jewel of the Seas was built in 2004. Yes, she's got some age on her. She has been dry docked multiple times with some major renovations, which we'll talk about throughout the video. She still has a very classic charm. It's a classic cruise ship. Her gross tonnage is about 90,000 tons. That is less than half the size of the Icon-class ships. The capacity is about 2,500 people at double occupancy, and with a crew of about 850 people from around the world. Now, if you've been watching our videos at any time, you know we tend to jump around a little bit. I try to point out different things as we go around the ship, and I give you some information in the meantime. I really don't like filling things in with music and stuff like that. We just want to give you the information that you need, and there's a lot to unpack on this small ship. We'll come back to the centrum as you see here a little bit later on in the video. We're going to start you off down on deck 4. I want to show you the main dining room called the Tides Dining Room. This is a 2-level dining room. This is where we'll have your main seating or my time dining as well. But I just want to show you a little bit. The ship, again, it's a very small ship. It's much narrower than the Icon-class ships, the Oasis-class ships, or the larger ships. Throughout the video, you'll notice, though, it's got a really nice classic type of cruising feel to it. Very elegant, not as modern as some, very well maintained. That's the one thing I will absolutely give this ship, is it is gorgeously maintained. But it's got that much smaller, intimate feel to it. On some of the newer, larger ships, the dining rooms just feel like too big. It feels like a huge cafeteria. The dining room on this ship was smaller, more intimate, and as you can see, there are 2 levels to it. Really nice little waterfall feature there by the staircase that goes from deck 4 up to deck 5, which is the 2nd level of the Tides dining room. Here we will show you, they do breakfast on Royal Caribbean ships. Generally, it's a very short window for breakfast, so maybe a couple of hours. So if you want breakfast in the main dining room, you're going to want to get there early. Immediately left your exit out of the Tides dining room is the centrum area. This is on the 4th level of it. Down here you'll find the lobby bar, elevators, beautiful staircase that goes from deck 4 up to deck 5. You'll also have guest services on here, which I'll show you in a minute. But as you can see, this is just a really beautiful area. Lots of nice overhangs. All those little things that kind of stick out are places where you can look over and watch what's going on. They'll have music here at night. They have dancing almost every night. Great service at that bar right there. Decent amount of seating, and that's also where they're going to have many of the interior parties, like the 70s parties and 80s parties. It was really, really set up very well for that. I actually prefer those parties on this ship more than I do on the Adventure of the Seas, the Mariner. Some of the larger ships that they have it in the big Royal Promenade, they had it here. Now you'll notice there is no Royal Promenade on this ship. This is just one of those points where this ship is much, much different than anything else in the Royal Caribbean fleet, this class of ships at least. There's guest services there. Again, as I say in every video, guest services. Keep it on your folio every day. If you have an issue, go to guest services right away. Don't wait till the last day of the cruise to go to guest services. The crowds get out of control the last day. Here is the central elevator bank. One thing I'll point out about the elevators, they are really, really annoying because it's very hard to hear. It's kind of wide, and quite frankly, when you hit the buttons, it's pretty much a free-for-all when the elevator comes, and sometimes you just got to kind of stake out in front of one and just wait for it to come, because otherwise, we notice a lot of people cutting in line. We are up on deck 5 now. Deck 4, the rest of deck 4 is staterooms. But up here on deck 5 is Cafe Latitudes. Cute little play on the name. They do get some basic mixed drinks here. You can also get soda, specialty coffees. They have some grab-and-go dessert items there as well, sandwiches during the day. Right next to it here is the next cruise desk. Again, consult your travel agent before you place a deposit for next cruise. Some things have changed on it, but in general, it's a pretty good deal if you are sure about wanting to cruise again and you have a specific date in mind. You can get some extra savings or some extra onboard credit, but it's something you should really work with your travel advisor on. Walking forward on deck 5 from the centrum area, you're going to hit your first shops. These are the shops of centrum, they call them. Again, this is very different than what you used to. There being no Royal Promenade, the shops are kind of clustered in this area here. As you'll see, there is your gold jewelry. They have some of the things out on tables, almost like a sidewalk sale. It was a little bit different on the ship because there's really not as much of a walkway. So, well, you have your watches and things like that out on tables. They didn't advertise this as much. There wasn't as much going on. Over here on the other side is your logo store. Here's where you'll get things like Christmas ornaments, ship models, magnets, keychains, Jewel Sea shirts, all the Royal Caribbean logo stuff that you're pretty much familiar with on other ships. Pricing wasn't bad. And they actually had a really nice selection for a ship of this size. I was kind of surprised. Next door to it here is where you'll get your duty-free liquor and candies and things like that. Again, as I always say, know your price before you get on the ship. It's not always a bargain to buy duty-free items on cruise ships. Also, just to point out, if you do purchase a large amount of items, dollar value of items on the cruise ship, don't be shocked if you have to go to customs afterwards to declare these items. Continue to walk forward. Here is the art and photo gallery. Behind there is conference rooms. They do have a decent-sized conference center. It was closed off when we went through. But if you have a group or something like that, that would be where you can schedule meetings or meet and greets, things of that nature. Through this whole area here is the art and photo gallery. Now, I was kind of surprised. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of merchandise, stabilizers, GoPros, different things that you might need for camera needs on here. Much more than they have on the newer ships. We were just on the brand new Star of the Seas about a month ago. So you might want to check that video out too and just see how different it is. It was very interesting going within a few weeks from the largest cruise ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet to one of the smallest and noticing the differences. But again, they had a lot of stuff on the ship as far as memory cards, things like that. Photos, they still do not print out photos. The photos, if you want to purchase them, you'll do that right on your app. But there are people there to assist you if you need. Stepping out on deck 5 is the promenade area. This is a very, very nice wide open promenade area. Many of the newer ships have this area kind of blocked off by lifeboats, and here you can see the lifeboats are actually above you. So lots of seating out there, lots of nice places to just look out, watch the sunset. Over there you can see is an area for pet relief, not necessarily pets, but if you have a service animal, there are you can bring service animals on board. There's a process you need to go through. Obviously, work with your travel advisor or work with Royal Caribbean if you have a service animal. But again, this was a really nice promenade area. It's not a jogging track like you have on some. This was just more, again, returning to the classic cruising feel that this ship had. Just a place to sit out there and kind of relax, watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. Now, if you walk all the way forward on deck 5 and go up a set of stairs, you can get to an area that is accessible to the public, but most people won't find. Here is the helicopter landing deck area and the very front of the ship. So if you're looking for your Titanic photo, this would be where it is. Again, I encourage you, if you can, to walk on the promenade decks of any cruise ship all the way to the front. A lot of times you'll find these areas that are just really nice that people don't know about. This would probably be a really good spot to watch Sail Away if you're not into the loud parties, and there's Angela just relaxing while I film. But again, this is a really nice spot, and I have a feeling on Sail Away, not a lot of people are going to know about this, so this would just really, really be a nice spot and a quiet spot for you to watch that. Heading back inside the ship, we are going to take you to Deck 6 and show you the Choral Theater. The Choral Theater is where you're going to have your main shows. There was a comedic juggler while you're on board. There are various shows here. Very comfortable seating. This was recently redone. Nice spots. Where Angel's sitting up there is one of our favorite spots. It's kind of like bar top seating. You put your drink down. There was also really nice cup holders on the side. The seats were nice and wide, very comfortable. Again, the ship is, well over 20 years old, or just about 20 years old, and it was definitely really refurbished very nicely. No complaints there at all. Walking outside the Royal Theater is the entrance to this pit stop, sports bar, and cinema. Now, I apologize for this footage in advance, but this is a little movie theater here. It's probably about 70 to 100 seats, not huge, but they were showing movies throughout the cruise, which was really nice. It's located, again, right outside the Royal Theater. This is a little hidden gem that is there. Just another thing to do on a cruise ship, which, again, Angel and I absolutely love cruising because there's so much to do. Even on the smaller ships, there's a big variety. Now, here is a really, really neat sports bar that I wasn't expecting. If you know Angel and I, us and my daughter Caitlin, we are huge fans of NASCAR. And this was really neat going in there. It is a sports bar themed on basically NASCAR stuff. The decor was all from the early 2000s. They had some Dale Earnhardt stuff in there. They actually had some, I see Jeff Gordon there. They actually had some fire suits from different drivers, Bobby Labonte, stuff from Dale Jarrett. Hi, Angela. This was a really nice spot. While we were on board, it was the opening day of college football. This place got really packed with people watching different college football games, having a great time. Very good service inside that bar. Located right next to it is Casino Royale, which is obviously the casino. We're going to walk through really briefly here. There were table games. There were a lot of games in here for the size of the ship it was. Tend to get pretty crowded, and the walkways were very narrow. That's one of our other complaints. They do allow smoking in the casino, but they had these big machines, air cleaning machines, were not bad. There was also another bar in here that the service was very good at. I'll talk a little bit later on about kind of the placement of things. And again, at the very end of this video, we're going to go through a lot and tell you whether the ship is right for you or not, because it is definitely not for everyone. Continuing to walk aft outside of Casino Royale is, you were into the centrum area again here. Off to your left there is Vintage's Wine Bar. Plenty of seating here. This Deck 6 is where we spent most of our time. I guess you'd probably call us almost like the closest thing to a Royal Promenade, as you'll see in a few minutes. But again, great seats. This centrum area is beautiful. When they had the shows going on, you could watch them there. You could see they have different events going on. They were playing cornhole. Back here, again, continue to walk aft are your specialty restaurants, the Schooner Bar, and the Safari Club. The Schooner Bar here is beautiful. It just real nice. The big schooner as you walk in. There's a captain's wheel that a lot of kids and myself took pictures in. This has got to be the largest schooner bar that I've seen on a cruise ship, regardless of the size. They had things like trivia, name that tune, all kinds of other events in here. This was a big spot for pre-dinner drinks, and also a big spot for just in general hanging out, playing games, and talking. Now, there are only 3 specialty restaurants on board. The first one I'll show you is Chops Grill, which is their standard steakhouse that you'll find on all Royal Caribbean ships. Standard menu. This is not included in your cruise fare. This is an additional cost. We'll take you inside. We did do specialty dining here and at Giovanni's, you'll see in a few minutes. The other place I had was a sushi restaurant, which Angela and I do not like sushi, so you won't see the inside of that, and we're not going to give you a review of that. The restaurant was very nice. No problem getting reservations. I'll explain. We did this on a holiday weekend, so the ship was a little bit more crowded than normal. But again, the steak was very, very good. Service was a little bit rushed here. We weren't thrilled with the service in the restaurant. We were kind of out in just over an hour, which for a specialty restaurant, including starters, your steak, dessert, and things like that, it was a little bit fast. Weren't happy with that. But the food itself was delicious. Highly recommend the Gruyere cheese tater tots. Going back outside is the schooner bar. Here you can see there is bar seating on both sides of the schooner bar, and plenty of seating outside with these tables, little areas where you could sit down as a group and talk. The seating was very, very comfortable. There's a piano there also. At night they had somebody doing piano music, a sing-along type of show. Giovanni's Table is another one of the 3 specialty restaurants on the Jewel of the Seas. Again, this also is not included in your cruise fare. It's an additional cost. Angela and I did eat here one night. The food here, in our opinion, was excellent. The service was much better. Now, we don't go into specifics on our food reviews. Food is very subjective. So the only thing we really base it on is if it's served to the right temperature. In other words, if you order a steak medium rare, is it coming medium rare? And is it served fresh? Is it coming out like it's been sitting under a hot plate or something like that, or a hot light? The food was no problem. It was served properly. We enjoyed it. Very nice selection. Italian is probably our favorite specialty restaurant. Going out again, this is all part of the schooner bar here. Like I said, we were on the Star of the Seas. We've been on the Icon. We've been on most of the Oasis-class ships. And this schooner bar was as big, if not bigger, than the rest of them. Now, going back here is another interesting area. This is the Safari Club. They had a lot of the more interactive, as you can see, there's pool tables there. There was a bar back here. They also, during the day I was filming, they are doing an art auction. So that'll kind of, you don't really get a great view of all this. But they did a lot of events back here at night. They had bands playing. Music was very good. They had an Elvis band. They had the different game shows. A lot of the adult-only stuff, like the Love and Marriage show, was done back here. Nice spot because it's a little bit separated from the rest, but it did get crowded. If you're going for one of the larger shows, you'll definitely want to get there early. Now, one thing I'll point out, this is very, very aft of the ship, so there's some nice areas there. You can get a nice wake view from some of those seats back there. But something I found kind of interesting, this ship reminds us very much of an older, or the classic Princess cruise ships. This Safari Lounge in particular really reminds us of some of the venues on Princess. If you've been on a Princess cruise, comment below and let me know if you're like us. It kind of felt, this ship actually felt a little bit more in style like a Princess cruise ship than it did a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Next, we're going to take you up to deck 11 aft and the Windjammer buffet. Now, if you ever don't know your way around the cruise ship in general, fun in the front, food in the back. You're going to find in probably 95% of the cruise ships, the theater will be in the front and the restaurants, buffets will be towards the back of the ship. So that's kind of a quick way of knowing which way you're walking without having to look out a window. Here you can see there's a seating area in the Windjammer buffet. This is a small Windjammer. Again, the cruise ship does not hold many passengers, so it doesn't have the very large buffet. It's not double-sided. Some of the Oasis class ships have a mirrored on the left side and the right side, that they have the same stuff on either side. This does not. It's got one of each. The selections were good. I don't think there was as much selection on here as you do have on some of the larger ships. The food, however, was very good. The food options, I'm going to go into a little bit more as we go through. Definitely one of the things that was kind of lacking on the ship were the grab-and-go options. This is pretty much it during the afternoon. If you wanted to get something during the day, there is no hamburger grill or Mexican or that type of stuff on the pool deck. This is pretty much it. This is where you're going to, your ice cream is in there. In the back here, this is more seating on the back. So the one thing that was nice about this Windjammer is that there were plenty of seating. And if you walked through the back there, you can see there's some really nice wake view seating back there. On the left here is where you'll get coffee, your different juices, iced tea, and lemonade. Those things are included for those. A lot of new crews don't understand what's included on a cruise ship as far as drinks are concerned. Sodas, alcohol, especially coffee is not included. Basic drip coffee, lemonade, iced tea, water, fruit juices are included. You saw there is a staircase from deck 11 to deck 12 that takes to Izumi. Now here is the Coke Freestyle machines. This is an additional cost. You can buy the soda package and they will give you cups with a QR code on it that will work on these machines. These machines are very good. They have like 130 different combinations of drinks. The problem on the Jewel of the Seas is the only freestyle machines are located in the buffet, and the buffet closes at, I believe, 9 o'clock. So if you want something want soda, you're going to have to go to one of the bars with your card. Not a huge deal, but it's one of those things, even on a ship that's smaller, I definitely would have liked to have seen a freestyle machine in a different spot other than buried in the corner of the Windjammer buffet. Again, not in a very accessible spot. We had trouble finding it. We didn't find it until very late in the cruise. But again, if you have the soda package, refreshment package, deluxe drink package, you can get your drinks at various bars, including soda. As we walk out of the Windjammer, we'll show you the pool deck. And this would be a great spot for us to talk about. We often speak about whether a ship is right for you or not right for you. But even a bigger part of that is deciding if the ship and the cruise is right for you. Now, this was a 3-day cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. It was on a holiday weekend. It was on a Labor Day weekend. Here you can see there's ping pong tables. It was crowded. It was a different vibe. 3-night cruises, especially ones out of South Florida, tend to have a little bit more of a party vibe to them. This definitely had more of a party vibe. It was pretty crowded. There were a lot of younger people on board. The Jewel of the Seas does longer cruises. They do 5-night cruises, 7-night cruises, 9 or more night cruises. Those are probably going to be less crowded. It's going to be a little bit older crowd. Here, the one we were on was definitely a little bit more of a booze cruise vibe than Angela and I generally prefer. I'll get back to that in a second, but this is a solarium area. This is has a retractable dome up on top, so it's climate controlled. Beautiful, beautiful decor. Really nice Asian style decor in there. Beautiful venue, but again, Angela and I didn't use the pool here because it was very, very crowded the entire weekend. Also, something to note that the pools were deep, so pretty much, as you can see, people are kind of hanging on the sides. I don't understand why cruise ships do pools that are 7 feet deep. People aren't doing high diving in these things. They just, generally, you want to kind of float around a little bit or be able to sit, stand, have a drink without treading water the whole time. Here is a solarium cafe. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this. There is no pizza on board. There is no Sorrento's, there's no Cafe Promenade. So if you want food later on in the evenings, or if you want some pizza or some small sandwiches, salads, things like that, this is where you'll have to come. So it's up in the solarium area. The solarium area is adults only, to point out, which is kind of interesting because you have the pizza and the grab and go food. The only place really to get food other than the buffet during the afternoon is in the adults only area, which kind of didn't make a lot of sense. I would have liked to have seen different options for some grab and go stuff. The pizza was good. We did do the pizza. The lines got pretty long, and it was just kind of a weird spot for it. Again, not a deal breaker for us, but that was one of the things that we're disappointed in. We do prefer smaller ships in general, but the larger ships do have a lot more options. They have for grab and go or stuff, rather than having to sit down in the restaurant or go to the buffet. Continuing forward on deck 11 is here's the forward elevators are right there. I don't have to point those out. There are 2 sets of elevators. The forward elevators seem to be a little bit better. Back here is the Vitality Sea Spa. This is where you will get your various massage treatments, nails done, hair, shaves for the gentlemen. They have various types of treatments here. This is where you'll schedule it and you'll go for your appointments. Angela and I aren't very big spa people. Angela occasionally will get a hair done on a cruise, especially if it's New Year's Eve or something like that. I will occasionally do a massage, which is a really nice way to treat yourself, but they're not all that inexpensive. Here is the gym area. I should point out this is up on deck 12 now, and it's called the Vitality at Sea Fitness Center. Lots of machines here. They have some fitness classes as well. There's free weights, all the basic stuff that you may need to work off some of those calories that you've had from the big meals. Now, right outside of the Vitality at Sea Fitness Center is going to be a jogging track there. This is on deck 12. Beautiful, beautiful views there. As you can see, there's a jogging track on the left, and people can walk on the right. These jogging tracks do get narrow when you have sunbathers and stuff, so if you are jogging, you probably want to do it very early in the day. You certainly don't want to do it when they have the World's Sexiest Man competition going on the ship. That's why you see all of the people here. Again, a lot of people film cruise ships early morning or late in the afternoon. I try not to impose on other people when I'm filming, but I also think it's kind of important for you to get a feel of, what the ship feels like during the middle of the day when it's a little bit more crowded. And again, that World's Sexiest Man competition, it wasn't too bad there. That's about as crowded. That and the belly flop competition are 2 of the big events that they had on board. They were always a lot of fun to watch, and that draws a bit of a crowd. You'll get a better view at the end of the video when I'm recapping everything. I have some footage of that without as many people. Continuing to walk to aft, we are entering the kids area. This is known as Adventure Beach. There is a very small water slide you can see there. This area, I believe, was added in one of the recent renovations or dry docks that they did. There is a kids splash area. Next to that is a sports court. There is tennis. There's some basketball courts. Pickleball is all the rage. I've never played it, but pickleball is the thing to do these days, and there's pickleball both scheduled and unscheduled on most cruise ships, particularly Royal Caribbean these days. Just past the kids area here is Izumi Teppanyaki. Actually, it's not teppanyaki, it's Asian cuisine. They don't have on this one the typical table where they cook in front of you. This is Asian food. They do have sushi there. We did not try it, as I've said before, and you can ask the Vice President of Celebrity Cruise Lines that Bill and Angelo do not like sushi. Not a thing that we like, but if you are into sushi like my daughter is, this is probably a good spot for you. Take you now up to deck 13. That's one deck up. You can see there is that really, really small water slide. Again, I'm going to go over a little bit more of this. There's a rock climbing wall in front of you. This does have some things for kids to do, but it's certainly not designed for kids. There are better choices out there for children. They do back here have a pretty nice little miniature golf course that'll take you around. And again, what's interesting about this miniature golf course here is it actually gave me more of the idea of putting practices, more for I would say like a professional golfer, rather than having a lot of clowns' mouths and windmills and things like that. If you are a golfer and on a one of these cruises, probably a nice place to come up and brush up on your game a little bit. Now, continuing on deck 13 here, we're going to take you inside to the area. This is the Viking Crown Lounge. You'll find this on many other ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet. Here they will have, it's a great spot for embarkation day. We've done a couple of cruises where we've hung out there. There's a bar in the middle, lots of comfortable seating, nice spot. particularly on embarkation day, it tends not to get overly crowded. So if you have a group, it's a really nice spot to meet up with everybody, that people aren't roasting under the sun and you're trying to find each other. So if you have people come from different spots, this is a great place to go. They'll have dancing here at night. There'll be music as well. Again, really nice looking out over the pool area. Again, we'll show you the pool area a little bit later on when we recap. But up here, as well as that, is what is called the Vortex Nightclub. There is a disco. They have disco music going on up there. And then right outside of it is the Concierge Lounge. Now, the Concierge Club on this ship is for grand suites and above only. If you have a junior suite, we did have a junior suite. We will actually have a video up on the channel over the next couple of days with our cabin tour. We'll tell you what we thought about that. Also up here, as well as Vortex 13, and which is their club, and the Concierge Club, there's going to be the Diamond Club, or it's actually now called the Crown Lounge. They renamed it from the Diamond Club because it's not always open to all Diamond members, depending on how many sailing on the ship. Angel and I will finally hit Diamond in the next few weeks, which we're looking very forward to. Now, also out here is a very interesting area. There is a little walkway from there that is goes to the loyalty desk. The loyalty desk is in a weird spot up on deck 13. This is where you'll go if you have issues with crown and anchor points, if there's some amenity you're supposed to get and you can't. But this is really nice. This actually is a little glassed-in area that looks all the way down the centrum, from the roof of the centrum down to the floor. Very, very beautiful, as you can see there. Also, I want to point out, every single floor, even the passenger floors around the centrum, have seating areas where you can sit down. There's a little table. There's not waiter service there, but nice spot if you just want to kind of sit down, relax, and be kind of away from everything. Here is Adventure Ocean. This is their kids' clubs. We did not go in. There's the Challenges Video Arcade. This is where you'll have different arcade games in there. The arcade game is not included, so watch your cards. This is Fuel. This is also an area for kids ages 12 to 17. They were closed when we went in. We generally don't show you the insides of these things anyway. Our kids are grown and don't want to film children in here. My daughter's actually thinking about doing some stuff maybe for the channel. We have a 1-year-old granddaughter that will be starting to use all these things very soon, and maybe she'll contribute a little bit about that. I should point out that the Fuel Teen Disco and the kids clubs and the video arcade, Adventure Ocean, all of that is on deck 12. Also up here on deck 12, just want to point out that there is the Sky Bar here. This is where you can get any type of drinks. Generally, if you want a frozen drink, most of the time you're going to have to go to one of the outdoor bars. A lot of the inside bars do not do the frozen drinks, but the Sky Bar and these outdoor bars is where you're going to get your drinks. Well, we're getting to the point in the video where we tell you who the ship is for, who it's not, what we liked, and what we thought could have been improved. But before I do, if you're getting value of this video, please hit that like button. Let us know below whether you like the smaller ships or the larger ships. Have you sailed on the Jewel of the Seas? And certainly hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. We have over 200 videos on the channel covering cruise ships all over the world, every major cruise line, all-inclusive resorts, some stuff on Disney, Universal, and various ports of call and information. And also, while we don't actively advertise this on most of our videos, we are travel advisors. If you are an American citizen and you would like assistance with booking your next cruise vacation, feel free to reach out to us in the comments below or our Facebook group, Find Us Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. Now, let's start with the obvious. If you're looking for a ship with a lot of water slides, zip lines, water parks, ice rinks, neighborhoods, boardwalks, carousels, this is not the ship for you. You'd be better off on one of the Oasis class ships, one of the new Icon class ships, or a ship on maybe one of the other cruise lines in general. This is, well, there were a lot of children on the ship, and there are kids clubs, and there's some things to do. It's good for a quick weekend with children, but I don't think I would do a very long trip on the ship with children unless it's very destination specific, like Alaska or Europe, where there's a lot of ports of call, and your children really aren't looking for all of that. We love the Centrum area. We actually like the Centrum area for, as you can see here, they have one of their shows going on. I believe this is the 80s show. We actually like this area better than we do the Royal Promenade. Getting back to it, again, the itinerary is going to have a big difference on this. A short 3 or 5 night Caribbean itinerary is going to be much more lively, much more going on, generally a little bit more crowded. If you're doing a 10 or 12 night Mediterranean, transatlantic, it's going to definitely be a little bit calmer, a little bit older. There's going to be more enrichment and destination-driven activities. If you have any type of mobility issues or you do not like the huge ships, this is the ship for you. It's going to be much easier to get around. It's beautiful, a very classic cruising feel to it. It's got a very nice solarium, which would probably be great when the ship isn't full, and it's got a little bit of older demographic on it. The cons, definitely not for thrill seekers. No surf simulators, no big water slides, like I said before. Definitely a lot more fewer dining venues. We would have appreciated a little bit more options for grab and go or lighter lunch options, possibly in one of the interior areas that you didn't have to go to the buffet or to that area in the solarium, which was just really, really shoehorned in there. Now, again, though, will we go on the ship again? Absolutely. If it was the right itinerary. The smaller ships are also great for getting to the smaller ports of call that the large ships can't get into. Didn't ever feel really overly crowded, even though there's a lot of people on the ship. And for the right itinerary, it was really nice. Well, that about wraps it up, folks. Thank you again so much for watching. We really appreciate all the support. We're coming up on 10,000 subscribers soon, which I would have never imagined. So, on behalf of Angela, thank you for joining us, and come join us on our next adventure. Bye-bye, everybody.